I want to take a moment to speak directly to you if you've seen alarming posts on social media or heard frightening rumors about green card holders facing sudden travel restrictions starting January 20th. I know how it feels to see these headlines and immediately worry about your family, your future, and your ability to travel freely. You're not alone in feeling anxious, and you deserve clear, honest information without the panic and confusion. That's exactly what we're going to do together right now. We're going to separate fact from fiction, look at what's actually happening versus what people are claiming online, and give you the real information you need to make informed decisions about your immigration status and your travel plans. Let me start by saying something really important. As of today, there are no new enforceable travel restrictions specifically targeting green card holders that take effect on January 20th. I'm going to repeat that because it matters. There are no new laws that have been passed, signed, and scheduled to restrict green card holder travel starting on that date. What we're seeing instead is a perfect example of how quickly rumors and misunderstandings can spread online, especially during times of political transition or when there's heated discussion about immigration policy. Now, that doesn't mean we should ignore these conversations entirely, because understanding where these claims come from and what might be discussed or proposed in the future is valuable. But we need to be very clear about the difference between someone's opinion, a proposed idea, draft legislation that hasn't been voted on, political campaign promises, and actual immigration law that you must follow today. These are completely different things, and mixing them up causes unnecessary fear, and sometimes leads people to make hasty decisions that actually harm their immigration status. Let me explain what green card holders need to know about travel under current United States immigration law, because this hasn't changed. If you are a lawful permanent resident of the United States, you have the right to travel internationally and return to the United States. However, and this is important, this right comes with responsibilities and conditions that have existed for many years. These rules didn't just appear, and they're not new for January 20th or any other specific date. First, you need to maintain your permanent residence. This means the United States must remain your primary home. If you take a trip outside the United States that lasts more than 6 months, immigration officers may question whether you truly intend to live permanently in the United States. If you're outside the country for more than 1 year without obtaining a reentry permit before you left, you may be considered to have abandoned your permanent resident status. This is existing law. It's been true for decades. Second, you must carry your valid green card when you travel. Your green card is your proof of lawful permanent resident status. If your card has expired or is about to expire, you should renew it before traveling internationally. Yes, an expired green card still proves you're a permanent resident for domestic purposes, but airlines and immigration officials in other countries may not allow you to board flights or enter their countries without a valid card, and you may face difficulties returning to the United States. Third, you remain subject to all United States laws even when traveling. This includes tax obligations, selective service registration if you're a male between 18 and 26, and the requirement to notify immigration authorities if you change your address within 10 days of moving. Fourth, certain criminal convictions or immigration violations can make you inadmissible or deportable, even if you're a green card holder. When you return from international travel, you go through inspection at the port of entry, and immigration officers have the authority to question you and examine your situation. This has always been the case. So where are these rumors about January 20th coming from? In most cases, they're connected to political transitions, proposed policy changes that haven't been implemented, or misunderstandings about existing rules that people suddenly hear about and assume are new. January 20th is significant because it's been an inauguration date for new presidential administrations in the United States, and whenever there's a change in administration, there's often discussion and speculation about potential changes to immigration policy. Here's what you need to understand about how immigration law actually changes in the United States. Immigration law is federal law. Congress writes and passes laws. The president signs them or vetoes them. Once signed, laws go into effect according to their own terms, which usually includes a period of notice. Federal agencies like United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, Customs and Border Protection, and Immigration and Customs Enforcement create regulations and policies to implement those laws, and these regulations must go through public notice and comment periods in most cases. Courts interpret laws and can block policies they find unlawful. This process takes time. Immigration law doesn't change overnight based on one person's statement or one social media post. If there were actual new restrictions on green card holder travel taking effect on a specific date, you would see official announcements on government websites like USCIS.gov, CBP.gov, and travel.state.gov. You would see coverage in major news outlets with legal experts explaining the changes. Immigration attorneys across the country would be alerting their clients. Community organizations would be holding information sessions. The absence of all of this should tell you something important about the reliability of dramatic claims circulating on social media. That said, let me give you practical guidance on what green card holders should be doing right now and always regarding travel. First, make sure your green card is valid and not expired. If it's expired or expiring within 6 months, file Form I-90 to renew it. Second, if you're planning to be outside the United States for more than 1 year, apply for a reentry permit using Form I-131 before you leave. This shows you intend to maintain your permanent residence and gives you up to 2 years to return. Third, keep evidence of your ties to the United States. This includes things like your home lease or mortgage, utility bills, bank accounts, employment, family members living here, and tax returns. If you're questioned at the border about whether you've maintained your residence, this evidence helps demonstrate your ongoing connection to the United States. Fourth, be prepared to answer questions honestly when you return from travel. Officers may ask where you went, how long you were gone, what you were doing, and whether you're maintaining your residence here. Answer truthfully and briefly. Don't volunteer unnecessary information, but never lie to an immigration officer. Fifth, if you've been outside the United States for an extended period, or if you have any criminal history or previous immigration violations, consider consulting with a licensed immigration attorney before you travel or before you attempt to return. An attorney can review your specific situation and advise you on potential risks. Now let's talk about something really important that often gets lost in these panic-inducing social media posts. If you're a green card holder and you're worried about your long-term security and your ability to travel freely without constant anxiety about changing policies, there is a solution, and that solution is United States citizenship. Once you become a United States citizen, you have constitutional rights that permanent residents don't have. You cannot be deported. You cannot abandon your citizenship by traveling. You have the right to vote and participate fully in American democracy. You can travel with a United States passport, which is one of the most powerful travel documents in the world. If you've been a permanent resident for at least 5 years, or 3 years if you obtained your green card through marriage to a United States citizen and you're still married to that person, you should seriously consider applying for citizenship. The process involves filing Form N-400, attending a biometrics appointment, completing an interview where you'll be tested on English and civics, and taking the oath of allegiance. Yes, it requires effort, and there's a filing fee, though fee waivers are available for those who qualify. But the protection and peace of mind that comes with citizenship is invaluable. I want to address another common source of confusion that feeds into these travel restriction rumors. Some people confuse the rules for green card holders with the rules that apply to other immigration statuses. For example, if you're in the United States on a temporary visa, like an H-1B work visa, F-1 student visa, or B-2 tourist visa, the travel rules are different and often more restrictive. If you're someone who has applied for a green card but hasn't received it yet, your travel situation depends on what applications you filed and what documents you have. If you're someone with temporary protected status, DACA, asylum, or another form of relief, your travel requires advance parole in most cases, and traveling without it can have serious consequences. These different rules for different statuses sometimes get mixed together on social media, and someone sees information about restrictions on one category and mistakenly thinks it applies to green card holders or vice versa. This is why it's so important to understand your specific status and the rules that apply to you, not just general information you see online. Let me also address the question of whether there could be future changes to green card holder travel rules. The honest answer is that immigration policy can change, and different administrations have different priorities and approaches. However, there are practical and legal limits to what can be done. The rights of lawful permanent residents are well established in law and have been upheld by courts for decades. Any significant new restrictions on green card holders would face legal challenges, would require proper regulatory processes or new legislation, and would be subject to constitutional constraints. Could there be enhanced screening at ports of entry? Yes, that's possible and has happened before under various administrations. Could there be more questions asked of returning residents? That's also possible. Could officers be instructed to look more carefully at whether people have truly maintained their permanent residence? Yes, but these would be changes in enforcement emphasis or procedure, not fundamental changes to the legal rights of permanent residents, and they would still need to operate within the framework of existing law. What you should absolutely not do is make rushed decisions based on fear and rumors. Don't abandon travel plans you've carefully made if you're eligible to travel and have maintained your residence properly. Don't avoid visiting sick family members abroad because of unfounded internet claims. Don't apply for citizenship in a panic without understanding the requirements and being prepared for the process. Don't pay money to unlicensed immigration consultants or notarios who promise they can protect you from these supposed new restrictions. And definitely don't lie on any immigration applications or to immigration officers because you're afraid. Fraud and misrepresentation have far more serious consequences than any rumored policy change. What you should do is stay informed through reliable sources. The official United States Citizenship and Immigration Services website at USCIS.gov is your primary source for accurate information about immigration processes and requirements. The Customs and Border Protection website at cbp.gov has information about entry requirements and travel. The State Department website at travel.state.gov has information about passports and international travel. These are official government sources, and they will announce any actual policy changes well before they take effect. You should also consider consulting with a licensed immigration attorney if you have specific concerns about your situation. An attorney can review your travel history, your criminal record, if any, your ties to the United States, and any other factors that might affect your ability to travel or return. They can give you advice tailored to your circumstances, not general information that may or may not apply to you. You can find licensed attorneys through the American Immigration Lawyers Association website at ila.org, through your local bar association, or through reputable legal aid organizations that serve immigrants. Let me emphasize one more time because this is crucial. As I'm speaking to you now, there are no new travel restrictions on green card holders taking effect on January 20th or any other imminent date. The rules I've explained about maintaining permanent residence, carrying valid documents, and being subject to inspection when you return have been in place for years and years. If you're following those existing rules, if you're maintaining your residence in the United States, if you're not staying abroad for extended periods without a reentry permit, and if you don't have criminal or immigration violations, you should be able to travel and return as you have before. Immigration is complicated, and I understand why people worry, especially when they see dramatic headlines or their friends and family share alarming posts on social media. Your concern for your family and your future is completely understandable. But part of protecting yourself and your loved ones is making sure you're acting on accurate information, not rumors. When you see a claim about immigration changes, ask yourself these questions. Is this coming from an official government source or from verified major news outlets? Does it explain the specific law or policy that's changing and where it is in the legal process? Are immigration attorneys and advocacy organizations confirming this information? If the answer to these questions is no, you should be very skeptical. Remember that fear is a powerful emotion, and unfortunately, some people online share sensational claims because fear drives engagement, shares, and clicks. Other people share false information because they genuinely believe it and want to warn others, even though they haven't verified it. And sometimes people misunderstand complex legal information and spread that misunderstanding in good faith. Whatever the source, the result is the same: unnecessary panic that can lead to harmful decisions. Your immigration status is too important to risk based on unverified social media posts. Your family's future is too valuable to jeopardize because of rumors. Take the time to check official sources, consult with qualified professionals when needed, and make informed decisions based on facts. That's how you truly protect yourself and the people you love. If you found this information helpful and you want to stay updated with accurate, reliable immigration news and guidance, I encourage you to subscribe to Immigration News today. We're committed to cutting through the confusion and bringing you fact-based information that you can actually use to make informed decisions about your immigration journey. Turn on the notification bell so you'll know immediately when we post new videos addressing the latest developments and answering the questions that matter most to you and your family. If this video helped clarify things for you, please give it a like so others who are worried about these same rumors can find this information. Share this video with your family members, friends, and anyone in your community who might be concerned about their travel rights as green card holders. And please leave a comment below telling us what other immigration topics you'd like us to cover or what questions you still have. We read every comment, and your input helps us create content that truly serves your needs. Thank you for trusting us with your time and your concerns. And remember, stay informed, stay calm, and always verify before you worry.